Hi, this is A. Wesley, that and who tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 8. It started off with Drew. It started off with Drew at home. Uh, 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 Drew at home talking to her daughter, and asking her how good it is that she's back home, and then she's talking to her assistant, and she learns from her assistant her dance moves for her video. Drew says to Alexa, play her song, but Alexa plays a Juice World song. That was okay. And then Ralph walks in, and then when Ralph walks in, he tells Drew that if she want to learn some dance moves, he could teach her some dance moves, and they kind of laughed and kiki about that. And then Drew said that when she was a child, 8 years old, her sister, I think her sister's name is Annie. She said her sister Annie managed her career, up until pre-COVID, and she was saying at the height of COVID, her sister had a mental breakdown, and she was saying over the years, her sister was telling her that Ralph was controlling, and stuff like that, and Ralph had barred her from being in the house, barred from being at the house. I don't think I can live with a person or a man that bars my mom or sister, my family member from the house. And she was saying, ever since then, her sister has been having problems. And then Drew said that she told Ralph that she invited her mother and her sister to a video shoot, and she wanted him to be nice and cordial to her family. And he said he'll have to think about it. I'm sorry, you ain't got to think about nothing. As far as concerning my family, if you don't accept my family, well then you kind of don't accept me. But anyway, on to the next scene. And then the next scene was Sheree at her house, looking at photos on her computer about her grandson when her assistant came in, and she asked her assistant what was going on with the business, and her assistant told her the business is okay, but it's not making a profit yet. And she was telling him that he need to wear some She by Sheree shirts, and maybe help promote the business. Maybe her business get better. And he said okay, he'll do it later. That was kind of a cute scene. But Sheree kind of know why her business, ain't doing too good, because for one, she's selling her clothes too high, and two, her website is always kind of either crashing or broke down or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, on to the next scene, and the next scene was Marlo at her house. And it looked like everybody at their house. But anyway, Marlo was at her house, and she was FaceTiming one of the girls from her adoption program, and I think her name was Rhea, and she was telling Rhea that she was so proud of her and so proud of the girls that's in her program and stuff, and Rhea was saying, yeah, she asked Rhea, did she have any advice to give any people, and Rhea was saying, yeah, she wants to be known as not as an adopted kid, but as Rhea. And Marlo said, yeah, why do I have to be named adopted kid? I want to be named Marlo. And the young lady said, yeah, I agree with you. And Marlo said, oh yeah, I gotta go, I got something to do. So she said goodbye to the girl, and right after that, walked in. Sonya walked in, and Sonya asked her how was she doing, and she said she was doing okay, everything was going on right. And she said, what's going on now? She said, well, Sonya, I got a date tonight. She said, you got a date? She said, yeah, I got a date. She said, how you get to go on a date, Marlo? She said, well, my manager set me up with on this blind date. She said, on this blind date. She said, do you know anything about the man, Marlo? Do you know how he look or anything like that? Marlo said, well, all I know is he's tall, dark, and handsome, and he's a Jamaican. And then Sonya said, oh, Jamaica, yeah, you need a Jamaican. She said, do he have a lot of money and stuff? She said, well, I know he own a restaurant. She said, oh yeah, he own a restaurant. She said, that's a good man for you. And then switch to the next scene. And then the next scene after that was Sheree had met up with Kandi, and went up with Kandi at the park, and she told Kandi that she didn't like the way that she was talking about her business and stuff like that. And Sheree said, well, it wasn't just me. You said you're gonna have your website up and everything, and I was ready to buy everything, and even some of the girls in the group was ready to buy everything. When we went to your website, it had crashed. It had crashed and stuff. And she was saying, well, yeah, you were saying my thing. She said, well, I wasn't just saying, she said bloggers and everybody was saying your website wasn't up, they couldn't get nothing. And they were saying, yeah, you talking about me. Other people was calling it she by Sheens. She said, it's not she by Sheens, it's she by Sheree. She said, whatever it is. She said, you just didn't have the website. She said, well, I told you my website crashed. I told you my website crashed. And then Kandi said, well, Kandi said, well, I wasn't the only one. She said, well, Kandi, you hurt my feelings. When you talk bad about my business, that hurt my business. And Kandi said, well, I'm sorry, Sheree, for talking bad about your business, but I'm just saying what that went on. She said, but I didn't know you felt like that. And Sheree said, yeah, I felt like that. Sheree said, I'll never say nothing bad about your business, Kandi. I'll never say nothing bad about your business. She said, Kandi, I went to Old Lady Gang one time. We had to wait almost 2 hours for our food. She said, but I apologize to you for that too, Sheree. And then Kandi said, Sheree, would you accept my apology? And Sheree said, yeah, let's move on from this. What it was, Sheree was wrong for blaming Kandi. She knows she should have had that website up wrong. And even Kandi pointed out that eventually she had to go to a third party to get her website and get her stuff up. So Kandi was just trying to let her know that she could have done that, could have done that ahead of time and stuff, because people was looking for the stuff that was on the show. But anyway, on to the next part. And the next part was Kenya at our house with a little girl, Brooklyn. That was okay about them making cookies, and she was made sure that she didn't put no chocolate chips in the cookies, because Brooklyn is allergic to chocolate chip cookies. I know a lot of people are saying that Kenya is a good part of the show. Kenya is a good part of the show, but you can see when Kenya don't have somebody like a Drew or a Portia that she can kind of go back and forth with. Kenya really doesn't have a storyline. But anyway, back to the show. And then after that part, it was it was the next part, and it was Kandi and Todd at the studio, and they were talking about the movie that he's supposed to be making and producing, and so Kandi asked him how far along had they got, and Todd said, him and the writer said they're both through with the script. They were just looking for talent like ladies and actresses to play a certain part, and then she said, well, what about Drew? She said, I think Drew would be good for this part. And then Todd said, yeah, I pictured Drew in the, I pictured Drew in the, I pictured Drew in the scene and Drew for the part too. He said, do you think Drew would want to do that? And Kandi said, well, I don't know. We'll just have to ask and wait and see. She said, this part that Drew's gonna be playing the part of the wife. She said, yeah, that's what I said. Drew would play the part of the wife. And she said, well, that's why I wanted to be the producer. I didn't want to be playing opposite of Drew. I didn't want people to keep thinking that. And then Todd said, yeah, you don't want people to keep thinking that you be turning out women. She said, oh, okay, Todd, let's go on. Then they went to the next scene, and the next scene after that was Drew mother and her sister showing up at the house, and Drew was saying, y'all late. And she said, well, yeah. She said, well, Mom, I got a 2-hour shoot. She said, Mom, I got a long day today. I got an hour shoot, and we got to come on. So Drew had showed her Mama some pictures or photos of the shoot, and she said, well, Mama, I don't want you to be at the photo shoot at this scene. This is a romantic scene. She said, oh, that's a romantic scene. She said, yeah. She said, we're going to start out at a roller skating rink and stuff like that. I got everything going on. I got everything, got all the locations, got all the sites. And she said, yeah, I even called Chastity, and she was calling Chastity name. And she said, Chastity, I want you to see if you're available, because there's going to be a lot of people there, and they're going to be need food, and I like to feed the people who are going to be there and stuff like that. And so Shady Production said on the side, 2 hours, when Drew kept saying long day. She said, yeah, I gotta get up early and get the shoot out the way. And she said, okay. And then the next thing you know, it switched to the day of the shoot. Yeah, it switched to the day of the shoot, and Kenya showed up. Montea showed up. Uh, um, yeah, Kenya showed up in Montea, and also Sonia. And then so when Kenya showed up, she said, "Where's Kandi?" And then Drew said, "Well, Kandi told me she was gonna be here." And Montea said, "If Kandi said she's gonna be here, she's gonna be here." And then I think a production assistant whispered something in Drew's ear, and they said, "Drew, you gotta go, you gotta go." And they said, "Oh yeah, okay, you go and get ready." Drew was got ready. She got in her makeup and stuff, and said she was kind of nervous. And then next thing you know, they was prep. She was showing the girls how she learned how to skate. And then Sonya gonna say, "Well, Drew, you don't know how to skate." She said, "Well, I've been practicing. I've been practicing with my coach, and he's been teaching me." She kind of twirled around, and she kind of slid off a little bit. And Sonya gonna say, "Confession, if I was Drew, I would have did something a little bit easier." You know, she tried to do something hard over there in Jamaica when she ran and failed. I'm looking at Sonya. You ain't done too much of nothing. I would try to take it easy if I was Drew. She always trying to throw snide remarks and hide her hands. That's what makes me mad with Sonya. But anyway, they all got ready, and then even Kenya said in her thing, she said a shady remark talking about, yeah, Drew's video shoot looked like a low budget Beyonce blowback video. I was saying, Kenny, you really can't talk about nobody because your event that you had at that HBCU school was kind of sloppy too. So it's like they all want to pick on Drew for some reason. But anyway, the video shoot went out well and everybody liked it. And after the video shoot, Ralph came over there and talked to Annie and told Annie that asked her how she was doing, and she said she doing all right, and he said he was sorry for what had happened, and she was saying yeah, she was too. And then Drew came over and said, "What's going on? Why you crying?" She said, well, me and Ralph got to talking, and we was talking about what was going on. And then so Ralph said, "Well, I think me and Annie can get along now and stuff." And Drew said, "That's all I want. I wanted for our family to get along." So they all hugged. And they all hugged, and it switched to the next scene. The next scene was Marlo getting ready for her date. And then one of her nephews, William, said, "You trying to bring us a stepdad?" He said, "No, I'm just going on a blind date. And then she said, "How I look?" They said, "You look real good." She told me, "I look like a schoolgirl going out to the prom." And then she was driving in the car, and she FaceTimed Sonya. She asked Sonya, she said, "Sonya, what you doing?" Sonya said, "Well, earlier I was at Drew's video photo shoot." And she said, "Oh, you was?" She said, "Who was out there?" She said, it came out pretty good. It was all nice." She said, "Everybody was there except for Kandi." She said, "Oh yeah." She said, "You didn't tell me that she had no photo shoot and stuff like that." She said, "Oh, she didn't." She said she invited everybody. And then Marlo said after she got off the phone that she was busy. She didn't have nothing to do anyway. And she said, "Yeah, let me call Drew as soon as I get off the phone with you." So she gonna call Drew on the phone, Marlo. And then after she called Drew on the phone, Drew said, "What you doing?" Marlo said, "Well, I got on a date." She said, "Oh, you look good. She said, "Oh, you got on a date." She said, "Marlo, I think I deserve an apology." Marlo said, "What you mean you deserve an apology?" She said, "Marlo, you did me wrong. You did me wrong after after the concert event. You hooped and hollered at me for nothing. I ain't do nothing for you just because I didn't use a certain word that you wanted me to use." She said, "Well, I didn't think you was offended by it because I was telling you that my nephew had just got killed and Ken didn't do nothing." She said, "But that had nothing to do with me. Just because I didn't bring up that word, you hurt my feelings." She said, "Well, I didn't know it really hurt your feelings like that." She said, "Well, I'm sorry. I do apologize." She said, "But Marlo, but before that concert, I thought me and you didn't have no problems." She said, "We was pretty cool and stuff." She said, "Well, Drew, I didn't already apologize to you. I didn't apologize to you." Drew said, "No, I want you to apologize to me and face to face like you did." She, "Oh, I ain't got time." She hung up on Drew. And he said, "Yeah, that wanna be bad built actress," and that man in there driving the car said, "Come on." And then Marlo got to this and said, "Ooh, I'm having a date at a strip club. I ain't supposed to be having no date in no strip club." And next thing you know, Scotty had the lady to bring them dinner and food and stuff like that. And she talking about Scotty checked out all of her points on her thing, and the show ended. This is all I have for this video. I'll do a 9 in the next video. This is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a T.I. is. I am out.